ready to make the start, moving from one outfit to another is action. Thank you for focus. We now have wires with electrons in them. Okay, perfect. So is everyone on here? Can you hear me? I see a message in the chat saying we can't hear properly. Is it better now, the sound volume? Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. I know I'm a new voice and you haven't seen me before. I'm taking over from Mr. Sibusiso that was teaching until Friday. He has to go back to school today. So let me introduce myself. My name is Adele. I am an organizational psychologist. So I did my teaching degree about 12 years ago and have been since then working in various corporate environments and have been a consultant and also do career guidance, do skills development for both adults and school children. So I'll be helping you with revision of life orientation and having a look at what is it maybe that you would like to do more of before your prelim exams or before you go back to school. And if it's something that's not in the curriculum, we can also look at that. So this is really an opportunity. Mr. Sibusiso was so good to cover most of or all of the content for the year, which gives us a great opportunity then to see what else we need, what other support you guys need as grade 12s. It's quite an important year and has not been an easy one because of COVID for you guys. So yeah, please, we'll just continue the way you used to. So if you have questions, you can raise your hands. I think I see most of you on the screen, or at least names, or then in the chat. Okay. So for the check-in question, and I always start, so yes, you will have a better understanding of how to answer exam papers, and we will also look at what else you would like revision on. Just a heads up, the session might not be a full 45 minutes. This is just for me to meet you guys and then also to get an understanding of what you would like to cover going forward. Right, so check-in question. And I always do this because it's difficult not seeing faces, but let me know on the chat. You can do it privately or in the group to everyone. How are you feeling? So on a scale from 1 to 5, how are you? 1 being not good, 5 being excellent. Let's go, I'm positive. So we've got some 3s, 2, 3, 3. Lots of 3s on here. You guys are kind of in the average. How about the 4s, 5s, 1s, 2s? 3s is the safe answer to guess or to give. Oh gosh, okay, we've got a 0 there. A 2. Okay, seems like most have answered. So I think what is important is to acknowledge how you are feeling, right? So I know there's a lot of work to get through. I know you have to write exams, but you don't know when you're writing exams. There's just so much uncertainty in the time that we are in. What I would like you to do is to be very mindful, especially in life orientation, right? That's the beauty of this subject is to say, okay, so I'm still a human. I'm going to survive. Let's just breathe. Okay. And next time we'll do some breathing exercises, which is really helpful also for regulating stress and trying to just ground yourself again. But that's for next time. We'll do some there. what I would like you to do on the in the chat is please, sorry Salma, I'm just reading your comment. Expected when we haven't been outside for almost 8 weeks. There isn't much to do at home to keep our sanity in check. Okay, so that's something we can look at, right? There's a lot of activities you can do at home in terms of physical fitness. And when we sign in the rest of the week, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll give you some links and some ideas of what we can do. So let's see how we can physically keep yourself fit. I'm just making notes. Thank you for the feedback. We'll look at physical and mental health, and I'll see if I can give you guys some tips and tricks how to do that. So my next question I would like you to answer on the chat is the topics or questions in the grade 12 curriculum, so that you struggle with and would like to revisit. I don't want to redo everything that you've already done. I don't mind doing that if that is what you want. But if there are specific topics that was covered that you feel, oh, I'm not so sure, I don't know really how to answer it, or I'm scared of if that appears in the paper, what do I do? Can you please type those for me, and then we can go into specifics, things that will help you for the rest of the week in revision. Democracy and human rights, good one. What else?
Hartstikke die code en ek kry nog steeds nie. Ek sien nou tikkie kode en ek kan nog steeds nie.
How about if we then say, let's just start again with the curriculum and work it through. So we do revision of everything again. Can I see your thoughts on that?
Ja.
Yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes. Okay. So it seems like that will work. That will be fine. Okay, perfect. So that's then what we're going to do. So there might be days where you will see some things that you've seen before, and then we can maybe build in some activities in between to also help you. So let me suggest that we're going to do a combination of your curriculum, so what the Department of Education expects, as well as some practical, more personal skills to deal with the time that you're in. Okay, so I'll do a combination of teaching and a bit of skills development in between. Is that okay? Perfect. So then I would like us to go to a question paper that was done 2019. So I think Sibusiso did that with you guys last week, but there is a question I would like to see if you can get the answer to. So a bit of revision on a specific paper, okay? And it relates to unemployment and entrepreneurship. So it was question 2 of last year's paper. Let me put this on the screen. You can see it. Great. Can you see the screen, the exam paper? Harry, maybe if you can just let me know if they can see the exam paper on the shared screen. Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you. So question 2, opportunities to counteract unemployment. Please zoom in was a question. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Is that okay then? Okay. So It talks to entrepreneurship and relevant job skills. And the question reads, workshops were hosted across the provinces recently to inspire social entrepreneurship among the youth as a viable option to counteract unemployment. They received training and information about the changing world of work, how to identify their talents, and build the characteristics that may be required to enter the job market. So before we go into the questions and how to answer the questions, can someone give me a definition of social entrepreneurship? What is social entrepreneurship? Let's step back. What is entrepreneurship? I need to just tell you, yes, Will, your hand went up. Thank you. Can we unmute you? Do you want to type or you want to speak? Harry, is it possible to unmute? Okay.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Okay, Will, you're unmuted. You can go.
Can you hear me? For entrepreneurship is where a person sees an opportunity.
I'm not hearing you. I don't know.
It's where a person sees an opportunity to make profit.
Ma'am, we can hear him.
Okay, well, sorry, we're not hearing you. Could you maybe type it in? Okay, sorry guys, I see you can hear him. I didn't. I don't know if that's maybe something on my side. Kyle, anything from your side? If guys, I think it's better to just type. So if you don't mind, if you can type your responses in the chat box. Should we try Kyle? I see there's a hand there. Kyle, do you want to speak or type?
Ma'am,
Okay,
Carl has got nothing.
Okay, so I see. Let me go through the definition of social entrepreneurship. Sorry, I didn't hear you, Will. So maybe you have said this, but entrepreneurship is someone engaging in some kind of business that they are starting themselves. So they're finding money to start a business, and the goal of this is to make profit. So profit is what drives business. Social entrepreneurship is where profit is not the only goal, but it is also helping and sharing profit. So there's a whole study on social entrepreneurship, which is really interesting if this is something that you consider as a career. If you just Google social entrepreneurship, you will see that you can actually study degrees in it and postgraduate degrees in social entrepreneurship. So the question is, how do we make money? How are we profitable? And how do we help the community? So it needs to be a win-win for everyone. It's not a typical model where there's lots of money in the business coming in and then people get paid salaries that is maybe market related or under market related, or if you are lucky, above market related. So it looks at how do we combine making money and helping society or helping the environment and the communities that you are in. Okay. Which other words in there do you not understand? Let's talk about the changing world of work. How do you think the world of work has changed? Let's say over the let's say from January until now. How has the world of work changed? Guys, you know I'm trained as a psychologist, so I can just outweight you with silences. How did the world of work, it's in a standstill, okay? Yes. What else? Let's take it a bit further than COVID. Job losses, yes. More automated and from physical contact to internet contact, absolutely. Everything is virtual, yes. How did the world of work change from, let's say, 50 years ago till now? How was work like 50 years ago? And let's think about corporate environments, right? Come on, guys. There we go. It's currently becoming more technologically advanced. People are becoming more self-employed. What else? What else? What was work like? Think about more vibrant. Okay, people can get hold on meetings over PCs and phones. Well, what do you mean with more vibrant? Do you think it became more vibrant? Aha, 50 years ago, machines were operated by people and now they operate themselves. Women and privacy disadvantaged are now being allowed to work. Okay, and you don't think they were working 50 years ago? Maybe not in senior positions. What about, I'm just trying to open some slides here for you to see. Okay, people are losing their jobs because robots are taking over. And what about the people designing or developing the robots, programming the robots? Do you think that this also meant an increase in job opportunities? So if we summarize the world of work, and why is the reason why I'm doing it like this, why I'm not jumping into the questions, is in your exam paper, it is extremely important to understand the question. So don't just jump into answering what you assume the question is. When you read it, take a moment to think, do I understand what they are asking? Do I understand the concepts? And then you can do what I did here, highlight them of something that you might have to think about again or might have to remember to include into your answers, right? So this question, for example, social entrepreneurship is important, changing world of work is important. And then there's questions around that. Okay, So just a comment from Salma, they're not allowed in specific sectors and hold high positions. Yes, perfect. So the world of work has changed dramatically because of technology. So things that exist now, the fact that we can have an online school wasn't even something people considered 50 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. The fact that females are moving into leadership positions wasn't something that you saw everywhere in the world. So in some countries, there was already females in positions that would be maybe more prevalent in some countries than others. But in general, the female empowerment movement have disrupted the world of work. And we can talk about that in detail in the coming days also. But I think it is important to understand what work was like. So if you think of a factory, and someone on the chat said it, that people used to do the jobs of robots, and robots are now doing that job. So let's look at it, think about an assembly line in a car manufacturing, in, let's say, Ford, for example. So the nuts and bolts and the pieces to actually build a car was done by people. And now it's all automated. So the world of work changed, and that meant jobs for some people, more opportunities and more jobs for some people. But it also meant that people lost their jobs. And if you don't regularly upskill, then it becomes a risk for you. So the changing world of work is not something to fear or something to be scared about. It's something to look at and say, okay, this is not great, but what opportunities are arising from this? And let's use the school, for example, the lockdown school, that now there's opportunities for teachers to help students way more than would fit in a class from any place in the country or in the world to teach learners. That is now an opportunity. Okay, not first prize, not great. I prefer face-to-face interaction, but the opportunity is still there. So when you go through the curriculum and go through your year and think about next year, then think about what are the opportunities arising from this as well. So let's look at question 2.1. First, before we go on, do you understand what social entrepreneurship is? Would you like me to explain it more? We've got a yes there. Okay, thanks, Vasedi. Okay, so question 2.1. State 3 ways in which schools could promote social entrepreneurship as a viable option to counteract employment. So if I told you, you don't have to be in school anymore, you passed grade 12, congratulations. Now go start a social entrepreneurship business. How do you think that could be done? Where would you start? Difficult question. Okay. Think about it a bit. Think about, I don't want to just give you the answers. I think school needs to empower people to think more and not just sit and receive. So think about, if I say, let's start a social entrepreneurship business, how do you think, where would you start? And how do you think you can counteract employment doing that? Training first. Great. Teach basics of starting your own business. So do you cover that in your subjects? Do they do entrepreneurship in your subjects in school? Do you know how to start a business in South Africa? Okay, commercial subjects. Okay, so not everyone then. Okay, so that's also a topic I'm writing down. We will be very practical. Starting a business in South Africa is not difficult, but you need to have a good business idea. So we can start with that. That's an excellent suggestion, Lesedi. Part-time job to start with in order to save up cash to fund your own business. That is an excellent idea. Okay, so 3 ways in which schools, getting back to the question, 3 ways in which schools could promote social entrepreneurship as a viable option to counteract employment. So 3 ways. And I'm going to take with what you've raised here. So 1 is teach people around entrepreneurship that they can do. 2 is help with funding models. So part-time job, or how do I get money for my social entrepreneurship business? What else? Another thing, a third thing. There's a good one, Zani, coming through. Is it Zani? Do I pronounce it correctly? They could maybe host workshops in which they bring well-established entrepreneurs to talk to us and feed us information on how to start. Exactly. So motivational talks. What is also quite an accessible option is to Google and to follow successful business people, successful entrepreneurs. So that is one to definitely look at. Luke, so the question paper is one from 2019. Okay. Describe one financial challenge that young entrepreneurs may initially encounter and indicate how they could deal with this challenge. I want you to answer this question. How would you approach this question in your exam paper? How do you deal with the question of finances to start your business? Loan from the bank. Okay, so that's an option. If you get a loan from the bank, though, you need someone to sign for it. So someone saying, if Mason can't pay back the money, I would step in for him. Okay, so how do you deal with that challenge? That's a good one. Thank you. They can struggle with startup capital. So can you maybe explain to us what startup capital is? That's a good concept. What is startup capital? Some good suggestions coming through here. Find people to invest, find sponsors, get investors. Who would you approach as an investor? What do you think investors look for in businesses? Okay, there's a definition. Startup capital is the money required to start the business. What do investors look for before they invest in a business? So a big thing is efficiency, yes. Will the business be profitable? Absolutely. Another thing is, does this business align with my values, the potential. They want to make sure that it's investing in a business that will bring profit. Absolutely. So remember that businesses is designed to be profitable. That's the model of businesses. Social entrepreneurship has a different focus, and that's the specific concept for this question. How it will benefit the community. Yes, that is social entrepreneurship. So we need to make money that will help the community as well. Another criteria, you're right, Mason, is will the business be able to run for the next few years? Associating with right people, because nowadays we can trust anyone because we're unsure if they're really with us to embezzle money from you. Yes, so that's a warning that you need to be aware of. Is, are they really supportive, or is this just a way to make a quick buck? Absolutely, Lucidi. Okay, so how would you answer question 2.2? Describe one financial challenge. You were talking about startup capital or money to start out with. And how do you deal with this challenge? So you can get a loan from the bank if you qualify, and you can approach investors, or then someone answered earlier that you can also have a part-time job and then start this business by yourself. Okay. Question 2.3, discuss how becoming an entrepreneur could be used as an opportunity to empower young people in your community. So let's say we partnered, the two of us partnered on a social entrepreneurship business. How will that help you to empower young people in your community? Look at the marks, right? So it's one answer, but it needs to be enough to earn 2 points. So one answer, but not just one sentence. One answer with 2 good things of how it will empower young people. How will your business empower young people in your community? Okay. So let me give this a shot. I'll read as it comes through. Maybe you guys are still typing. There we go, this one. You can be setting an example to the youth, as sometimes entrepreneurship just need motivation in order to step out of their comfort zones and start their own businesses. That's absolutely wonderful. So that's one. In your answer, that will give you 1 point. What is the second point? So setting an example. Encouraging them to make the right choices in life and to encourage them to hustle for it themselves. Okay, so there's a role model answer in both of these that you gave. Wonderful. What else? What about employing young people? Let's say you have a business big enough where you can actually employ people and then create job opportunities. So being a role model is a good answer, and also employing young people in your community. So you're empowering by giving them a livelihood. That's another one. Yes, you can provide necessary skills to become entrepreneurs. So once you have learned the tricks of the trade, you can invest back in your community through training and development sessions. Those are good ones. So remember to look at the points, right? So they want you to give 2 good examples of what you can do to empower the young people in your community. 2.4, suggest 2 ways in which you use social media as a platform to promote your chances of getting a job. So this is not entrepreneurship anymore. This is about applying for a job. Look at the marks again. So they want you to say 2 things, but not just short sentences. They want you to have enough substance where you actually can get 2 marks. Do you guys understand the difference between 1 mark for an answer and 2 marks for an answer, right? So you have to write a little bit, not too much, but a little bit more than just one liner. Okay, so 2 ways in which you can use social media as a platform to promote your chances of getting a job. So post your CV, yes, but add to that, where are you going to post your CV? How do you design a CV? Who would you ask to check your CV? So just post your CV won't give you 2 points. Right answer, but it won't give you 2 points. What else? Except for a very good CV, very neat, no spelling errors. What else? And where will you post it? Do you guys have a LinkedIn account? What social media platforms do you use for your career? Not Facebook for social, but for your career-wise, professional platforms. Do you use any? Careers 24, okay. Yes, lots of jobs being advertised there. So what else? I'm still not getting 2 suggestions here for social media. Yes, that's a good one. Sign up for job mail and other platforms for job seekers. Wonderful. Okay, so lots of comments coming through here. So should you get LinkedIn? It's a good idea. It's a good idea to get LinkedIn at when you've left school, not when you're still at school, but when you have left school and you started studying. The reason for that, or you started working, or you're looking for work, because LinkedIn is a professional platform for job seekers and for people looking for job seekers. So, I mean, don't spend all your time scrolling through it, but maybe it's a good consideration when you switch over from school to after school. So we've got some good answers here. Will Facebook count as one? Be careful, because some employers I know that have advertised or get applicants for jobs might go on your Facebook page just to get a bit of an understanding of what you're not telling them. So be mindful of your social media accounts when it comes to job hunting also, but it might count in your favor. Okay, so a good one here. You could research on the company. You want to be employed in order to know exactly what they expect from their employees and what they represent. Yes, so that is a good. Suggest 2 ways in which you could use social media as a platform to promote your chances of getting a job. One is research the company. Excellent answer there. If you know who you're applying to, you will be better in the interview as well. And secondly is have a good social or a good CV, and then use the platforms relevant to that CV, relevant to the industry or the job that you're applying for. Okay, so those are 2 comprehensive answers. Just make sure you don't do one-liners when you answer this question. Even though the answer is right, they want you to write a bit more. I see we have 5 minutes left, so let's see if we can do 2.5. Assess why each of the following characteristics is important for a young person entering the job market. So we've got passion and creativity. Again, one definition, you see, one definition, but they want you to write more than only a sentence because there's two marks there. All right, so tell me, why is passion important? You can always start off with a definition of passion and say, this is what passion means to you. Why is passion and creativity important? If there's no passion, you'll hate your job. Okay. And if you hate your job, you won't want to show up. You will not perform as well. Okay, good. And creativity. Why is creativity important? What is the meaning of creativity? If you have passion, it will show the company that you're working for, you are determined, you can get a raise. Okay, So it will show that you want to be there, and they might then decide to reward your determination and your passion. So passion is when you give your all in what you do. Companies love to see this in employees because it means they will be dedicated to their work and they will always strive to do better. Absolutely. If you're passionate about what you do, then you will do it with determination. Very good. And creativity. Why do we need creativity? Why is that important? Creativity is thinking out of the box instead of routine methods. Yes? All about thinking outside the box. Bring your own ideas. Yes, that's a good one. Employers will know that whenever there's a crisis, you will be able to think of a way to solve the problem and you will always come up with innovative ideas. Yes, Marvin, again, very good. Creativity is when you come up with innovative ideas. So that is the definition of creativity. Why is that important? Like you guys said, is employers want someone to solve problems, right? So if you employ someone, then you don't just employ them to be a body in the office. You want them to look at the world differently and to solve problems that maybe you as the employer cannot solve. And that's where creativity comes in. Your ideas can bring a positive outcome. Exactly. Okay, so guys, this is, I think tomorrow we'll just jump right into maybe starting at the beginning or maybe completing this exam paper. Can I maybe ask you, did you do this exam paper last week with Mr. Sibosiso? Or is this the first time you're seeing it? Can someone give me an indication? Did you see this before or is it the first time? Okay, don't think we did it first time. Okay, that helps a lot. So then I'll start with this exam paper. Oh, we have Sonia. Okay, we have seen it. Anyone else? I haven't seen it. Okay. So again, some of you might have seen this before, and for others it will be the first time. So if you have seen it before, then it's revision. If not, let's just go through it. I think it's important to do exam papers and see how to answer, right? Not what's the answer, but how to answer. So we'll start again. We'll start at the top with this paper then tomorrow. Okay, guys, so I think that's my time is up, right? If I can just get Gerrie to give me an indication here. It was absolutely lovely to meet you guys for the first time. The first time is always the hardest, so tomorrow things will go a bit smoother. And then I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Stay safe and stay sane, and yeah, let's see how I can help you. If anything comes up you want me to discuss or give support on or talk about, please send a message. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a good Monday. Cheers.